A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all on frequency. This is the weekly DATV Net run by ZS6YI today. QTH is near Johannesburg in a place called Three Rivers, KG33 X-Ray Hotel. We wish to wish everybody a very happy new year, 2 days' time, and we wish everyone a fantastic 2025. May it be healthy, happy, and of course prosperous. Today on the net we don't have too many people. Let's just have a look. See, we've got ZS1 Mike, Leon down in Worcester in the Cape, southern part of South Africa, and he has a project which I saw him videoing just now. Hello to Martin in the UK, a G8KOE. He's talking about VK cat pics, and he sent me something about a repeater. So Martin, this is going to be an interesting net from your side. Hello to Bert, and I hope your Pluto is installed this afternoon. I hope it works. That's in Holland, Papa Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta. And then Peter in Wales, GW7BZY. Those are the only guys I have on this very short net. Also wish to welcome many viewers. Hello to Paul. He's got a problem with his final. Sorry to hear that, Paul. Let me just go back to there we go. Sorry to hear that, Paul. You say your final's packed up. That's OE8PCK. It was nice hearing you on Narrowband today. I haven't been on for a while. We also look forward to seeing Simon Brown, the writer of some of the fantastic software we use on SDR Console, for example. He has completed the receiving side of his DATV setup, and he is able to transmit between two Plutos. So things are moving in the right direction. It's not going to be too long and Simon will be joining us on this net. Spoke to him this morning on the AMSAT UK net, and he mentioned that things are getting close. He's been working flat out since February, and he's a phenomenal programmer. So once he gets things done, I think we're going to enjoy trying that mode. Then we want to say hi to Peter Rudolph, DK3 Zulu Fox. Always nice to have you on, Peter. And that's the only one I see on YouTube at the moment. But I was surprised on the AMSAT UK net this morning to see how many people actually tune in to the Thursday BATC net and then on our Sunday net. So it's encouraging to see that people are taking note and enjoying what we have to offer. Right, with that, I'm going to pass it to Leon. If you don't mind, please, Leon, if you would take it. ZS1 Mexico from ZS6YI.
Okay, thanks Gary. ZS6YI in the group, ZS1 Mike saying a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to whoever is watching, and to the very diminished group that we are on the net. Okay, yes, it's not quite so hot here today. There's quite a wind blowing, which makes it more bearable. Yesterday was another stinker. It was hot again, and the day before. Anyway, I think most of you have heard about my organ project, and I finally got a few pictures to show you. Bear in mind that I have never before been inside a pipe organ. So it was all very new to me. They just asked me, they sent me a PC board that was burnt black, and can I help? Because the organ builders, they say no, it's too old, it's 55 years old, and they don't have a remedy and all sorts of things. So here we go. The organ is upstairs. This is just a small portion of the pipes. You can see the pews there down below in the church. This is the Constantia Church in Cape Town. Now you see, bottom left corner, you see a little box. Now there's one of those boxes for every register. A register is one of those long wooden blocks with all the pipes in it. Now there's lots of those. I think we counted roughly about 28 of those registers. So there's about 28 of those boxes, and that box contains this PC board. And it's mounted on top of a big solenoid which activates or actuates the airflow to those pipes. Okay, let's go to number 2. There you can see, this is another view and another section of the organ. There you can see 4 of those boxes working into those registers. There's another view of another. Oh, I must kill myself for now. Yeah. Oh, there's my brother-in-law standing way in the background there in his office. And there's the organist standing next to him. Right. Here's a nice view of what the boxes look like. And you can see at the bottom, you see the actual plunger of the solenoid. It's a big solenoid. It's about 10 inches long by about 3.5, 4 inches in diameter. And it moves. They're all out now. In other words, all the stops are blocked. So when the solenoid has got 2 coils, one at the back and one at the front. So if you want to open the stop, you energize the coil at the back and it pulls that plunger. Now I'm pointing and showing you, you can't see it. But then you pull out that, it's a piece of like perspex, but it's long, it must be about 3 meters long, allowing air to all those pipes. Obviously via the little solenoid valves that are operated from the console. These are just the main register enabling devices. Now on the top of those boxes there, by the red labels, you see there's a H, a L, a N and a S. It's a little chocolate block sitting there. The H is about 16 to 18 volts DC positive. The L is a load resistor which goes to the common of the 2 solenoid coils. The N is the black wire, which is the negative, and the S is the signal coming from the console at the bottom to activate that thing. So they burn out, and it took me a while to figure out why do they burn out. They've had several burnouts before, and they just repair the things. Okay, we go to the next one. So I shouldn't go. Okay, it doesn't matter. I copied the board because I have no drawings, nothing. I didn't even know how this thing works. So I took a picture of it and I copied it and I made new PC boards and I built the thing. And yeah, the mouse, but the mouse is not going to work on the output. No, it works on the computer, but not there. Anyway, you see the two N355 transistors with a big load resistor, 4.7 ohms. Then you see 2 TO5 transistors, and then you see 4 little black transistors there. On the original one, the numbers were scratched off and they were painted different colors, just to be nasty. Made in the UK, of course. But they're too old, they can't support them anymore. Anyway, so I just copied the thing as good as I can. And lo and behold, when I tried it, it worked. So, okay, that's that one. Then, why does it burn out? I found that you can see the black wire there at the top. In their distribution from of the power, those wires are old. It's 55 years old, and it's all little screwed, you know, in the chocolate box. And if that is not a secure connection, any connection there, if it's just the slightest bit of arcing, the thing re-triggers. Now you see there's no heatsink on it because it only works for 1 second, roughly a second, when the guy changes the stop. And then it goes into dormant mode, although it's powered up. And when he removes the stop, it energizes the opposite coil for a second and then it just goes dormant. But if there's arcing, it carries on switching, and of course it overheats, and that big resistor burns, and it burns the PC board black. It burns everything. I think I have a picture of the thing. So this was my final. I've mounted on that resistor, you can see the white epoxy there. I've mounted a thermal fuse there in series with the incoming 18 volt DC supply. So if ever something starts arcing again to make this thing trigger wild, the resistor will warm up, and at 192 degrees that thermal fuse will go, so there won't be any damage to the board. But I'm going to improve the wiring on the whole organ. So okay, that's that one. Number 9. Oh, it's just another view. There you can see also on the left hand side some more of those solenoid boxes operating the registers there. And those pipes, they warned me, those pipes are of a very soft alloy. It's almost like lead. So you just touch them and they bend. Obviously so that they don't ring like a steel pipe would be. They dull. They must just whistle, they mustn't ring. So that's another interesting thing that I've learned about pipe organs. Okay, there you have it. The top one is the original board. I've made mine a little bit shorter because I'm using more modern components, and I wanted it shorter because that board just fits into that steel box. It's a good thing it's a steel box, or it could have set the whole church on fire. So it's screwed closed in this steel box, but that's what it looks like after I've cleaned it with alcohol. But yes, they overheat very quickly if there's arcing. Alright, that's number 10. Number 11, okay, yesterday I made another board. There's another blank board now. I actually drilled the holes today because I want to build another one for them, a spare one. And now if we go to number 7, there's a little video how I'm demonstrating how the thing actually works.
Okay.
I think I must switch off all these other things
Stop on.
and get to number
Werk perfect. Stop on.
not that one, not that one.
Stop af.
I must get to number
So
7.
dis baie goeie nuus. Dit beteken in my
Okay,
teken van die
number
ding
7
het
is
fout
running.
gemaak. Trek uit
Let me
gelos
just
op
see.
die trekverkeer
Number
gemaak.
7 is running. Okay, oh, it's already been running. Let me run it again, then I can explain.
Okay. Hier sien
Okay.
die board vir sy toets.
When he energizes, there I'm energizing, you see 1 second the stop comes out, and when you release it 1 second and the stop gets pushed back.
Stop on.
Energize, stop pulls out,
Stop on.
de-energize, and the stop goes back.
Dis
So
baie
that's
goeie
how it
nuus.
should work.
Beteken in my
But if there's arcing on any wires, it just stays on,
uitgelos op
which
die
obviously it's drawing a lot of current, and there's no heat sink, so it will fail. So yeah, that is my organ story. Now let me just see, will I come back if I can find my own camera? There we are. Okay, so that's the organ story. I hope it makes sense. Martin, over to you. G8 KOE.
bit of a problem at Martin's place. So I'll take it for a short while. Very interesting, Leon. Fantastic. And it's working very well. As you switch it, it's a flip-flop, one then the other. Very, very nice indeed. And I think you've nailed it with the arcing. That would obviously be trying to switch it on all the time. So it will remain on. And the right thing is to have that fuse so that it can switch things off. Maybe just bring a little red light on with the fuse that they can go and see, it's that one, and then sort out the wiring. But I'm sure once you've sorted out the wiring, it'll be perfect. So, Al, good job indeed. Well done. And I'm sure there's going to be a happy congregation for sure. And of course, your brother-in-law. Right, Bert, I think we send it to you, and then it'll give Martin the opportunity to get his things right. So if you will start firing up in the meantime, Bert, we'd appreciate that. I hope your Pluto is going to start running today. I'm looking forward to Martin's presentation today because I think it's going to be very interesting. He's got a lot to tell us. Papa Alpha 3, Alpha Oscar Delta, to take it in the meantime from ZA6YI.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, got signal, audio, video. So yeah, okay, it works over here. Okay, yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. It's indeed a small group today. Let's see. The other origin, that was a big one. A whole lot of pipes. It's a wooden block. It contains so many pipes. Yeah, and then 28. I saw maybe some pipes are on a certain angle, or is it just maybe done by the photo? That looks like some pipes on an angle. I presume all the pipes must be straight, vertical. But it looks sometimes when they're on a certain angle. But that's a whole lot of work. And old-fashioned, the 2 and the 3055. Yeah, I know them. Then I use them a lot for power supplies. Can have 2 ampere by 30 volts or something like that. It's an old one, but very good one. Mostly we buy them from RCA. Was in the 70s and so. When we used those components. I've been doing a lot of work, not only for the Hammer radio or for DATV. We had some ATV contest, or DATV contest, or combined ATV/DATV contest. Did a lot of other things over here. Since a couple of weeks I got now also a 3D printer. So that's playing with it, and the Pluto needed a box because the Pluto is in my garden shed for already 5 years, just hanging on some cables. Never been in a box. UTP was all hanging around, and a power supply from the 28 to 5 volts. And everything is now in a small box, so at last, after 5 years. So I installed it this morning, and it seems to work. I've tried this morning, and I got some signals, and let's hope it stays on there. For the rest, I'm busy with the RF0. I don't know if someone knows this small board. Oh, let's see if it goes. Oh, yeah, the RF0. That's as you can, maybe on this connector I can put an LCD and a TFT touchscreen, graphical screen. There's an GPS U-Blocks receiver with the SMA connector for the antenna, and there's this side. This is a little piece of foam. There's an SI5351A, a synthesizer, and on one of the this one connector, that's 25 megahertz coming out, and this one 40 megahertz for the Pluto. So you can use this probably for mobile work, or maybe stationary at home. So this one has to build also in a box, and there's a little bit foam of it, so it's a little bit stable. But yeah, you can find it more on the internet, RF0. So that's all I have for the moment. Not very much, done too much other things. Let's see if Martin is back. And if not, then take it, Peter. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. KOE, the mic, otherwise to you, BZY, from Pop Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta.
Well, I might be here. My receive doesn't seem to want to receive properly, but I think I'm receiving on the ride. But I'm suffering with let's get the chat going or something. It's that one for the minute. Try and get I've been plagued on this computer with, I think, an error that is known about. Let's see if I can find it, which has crippled me twice just in this short space of time. So if I go to what I want to do, do you know, I had it all prepared, what I wanted to put up and things and such like, but if we go down to there and hopefully display a link, we go to the center page, it's this nasty error that keeps appearing. So whilst I'm showing that, I'll see if I can actually get a receiver that's actually working on the PC. Let's make sure that I've got nothing else running. Let's restart. Open tuner. And we connect that up. Last time when I did this, I didn't get any displays from me, but for some reason. Right, let's see whether we can get actually a display from me. Oh, looks like it might have. No, that's interesting. That's not even working properly. If it's not displaying me yet. I can see me on the thing. So if I go to the right screen, that's what I get on my receiver for looking at me. But anyway, let's go back to the centre, and we'll talk about what I was going to talk about. I've been playing with an SRT repeater, which I won't take too long on it, which is what it looks like. Is that, it says. Okay, it's just 4 receivers, effectively, which are all on Raspberry Pis. You get individual reception on any of the 4, and it goes in through a quad unit. The 4 receivers go through a quad unit to combine them. Someone's coming in on 3, just to, I'll expect it'll be Peter, it will do in a minute, just to prove things are actually sort of vaguely working. But the only thing that is working, come on, a little flashing light over here, which hopefully will start flashing again in a minute. Let's have a look at the other camera. It's not for the moment, but even that was set up, you see, with my little friend. It's all about me, which was so that's the 4 things, and you should get one of those. That's that one which is flashing, and hopefully if it stays on, which it is, it should as soon as we get and when we don't, I think we're going to get a picture coming through anytime soon. So if we go to this RT full screen, and hopefully it should have come through. Well, there you go. Don't ever try and demonstrate anything. I don't know why that's not working. No, it's gone off again, the flashing little light. Anyway, if anything does come up, we'll were displayed. But this morning I've been talking to the VK boys, particularly Rob. Let's go back to the centre screen. And I know Leon likes cats, so let's go over to some of the pictures I received over the few days. Oh, that's even coming up on the wrong screen, but a bit of humour. We get lots of humour from there. So it's VK3, i.e. Rob, who has been eating a bit too much. But he sent me the pictures. We have contact usually most mornings, which is talk back on All Star and SRT to link into me. But yep, there's someone on 3 which is not coming through. I don't know why. No, it says looking around. It should do, unless you're running 265. 264 you need to run. That's I forgot to mention that. The receiver will only take 264. Won't take 265. So I expect whoever's running it is running 265. Oh no, I tell a lie. We'll go back to the. There he is. He's coming finally. It's Peter. So he's proved that it does actually work, and I can hit the appropriate button and make him full screen. It says I can. Oh dear. Hit the appropriate button and make him full screen. It says I can. Right. Oh dear. It's going to sort itself out. There he is. I don't know whether that's good or bad making him full screen. But there he is.
That's new.
That's good or bad making him full screen.
That's absolutely brilliant.
But it proves that it does actually work. Anyway, that's enough seeing of Peter because he's
some of the sound down.
hog the
I'm just having a
repeater,
cup of tea,
otherwise it's
waiting for
gonna
my
be,
turn.
over to his turn. But it proves that it
Looks.
it
I
does
think
work.
it even looks better
I'll
for
put
your
back to
transmitter
the,
end than my end.
full screen
There,
at the
Martin.
moment.
Looks a really good signal.
I can only take audio on one.
Amateur
for
television, the television picture you'll ever see, but there we are. So far, so good, eh?
I think
I've
Peter's
gone.
got the audio at the moment. Right, let's mute him, and we'll go back to what I was going to show, the centre screen. So that was a picture that came through this morning, and along with that is this one. This is really what I was going to, which is a new addition to the family out there. Apparently they have a dog sort of recovery section out there that has cats and various other animals. So they reclaiming cats, etc., that have been abandoned, etc., and given them once over, and for a donation you can take them home. Now he's apparently taking over the shack. I think Rob's only had him a few weeks, but a lovely looking cat. I thought Leon would probably appreciate that, which is what I was going to put. And also, he's found a mouse. And apparently on the shelf that he's got there, he's clambering over absolutely everything. So it's doing well. But yeah, they're celebrating early in Australia. They seem to like a drink or two. And I was also sent this image. Oh no, I've got this one first. So I forgot I had this one on here. That's the one where she's taking a distinct like to all the equipment. Yeah, I enjoy it anyway. I like cats, so I don't mind sort of showing them completely. Didn't think I was going to manage it with having two complete failures on the PC, which is beginning to annoy me. I'll re-mention the error at the end in case someone's going to come up with. I've got to have a further read, otherwise I'm going to have to do a complete, I think, reinstall. It's obviously a clash with permissions and things and such like, according to it. But the annoying thing is it can go on for ages. Anyway, as I was saying, they start early celebrating down under. and that was another image that was sent by Rob, just to show that they know how to party down there. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun in the morning, and it's the idea of SRT, or getting involved in it, is to bring amateurs together, and it's working quite well, particularly with that and All Star. All Star is the talkback. There's less latency on the SRT, but using the talkback side of things, which is also on All Star, is pretty good. So the combination works well. I dropped out. He says, "Oh no, I'll come back." Right, okay. Thanks there, Paul. It's chaos this end. I always want to. But that was useful on the talkback from you there, Paul. Yeah, okay. Yeah, perhaps you can be technical support and help me with this error fault. Anyway, we'll get rid of that picture on the centre there, and if that's not the one I wanted, it's oh, I can't find the one I wanted. So we go back to the centre screen. So thank you. That's the error I'm getting that causes absolute chaos. Everything freezes up, and so the only thing I can do is to hit the power button on the PC and shut it down. It's yeah, I think things are funny, so apologies. Right, now it's probably over to Peter now, so you can get ready there, Peter. Apologies for absolute chaos, but I will do a complete shutdown and reboot the system and see whether I can get things to work a little bit better. Luckily, I've got a second sort of receive setup, which is what I'm using at the moment, which is a ride on the lower one, and SRT is on the top one on full screen, so I can see who's there, who's not there. But that's my receiver over there at the moment, which isn't working at all well. So that's subjected everybody to what not to do. And as you can see, that's basically the SRT repeater into that box there, round to the laptop over here, which that laptop then streams to the server. Oh, which if I wasn't not in the way, oh, it's underneath the telephone. There's another little black box that looks identical to that black box. So on all that note, are you ready there, Peter? Let's go back to a test there. I'll put a test card, and providing I can close down, which I had the problem before, was I lost all control, so I couldn't switch things off, which is why there was a delay before my signal possibly went away. Plus I didn't know whether the signal had gone away. So the wonders of Windows, I'm beginning to curse them at the moment. Over to you there, Peter. Test card, and it's all yours, with some sanity, I hope, from G8KV.
Okay. That's GW7BZY. I'll just turn the telly down. I've got my telly working in the shack. Anyway, and I got Martin there. You disappeared on me for some reason. My stream was running. My SRT stream was still outputting, and when I switched it off, you came back on again. So I don't know whether that was coincidence or something going on at my end. I've just had a driver update for the graphics card, so I don't know if there was some kind of conflict. But anyhow, it's now working. I haven't got my sync set yet, I don't think. I might just do that now before someone complains. Yeah. Okay, that was a bit of a mistake. I obviously not synchronized it, but cut it off for whatever reason. And of course, I've changed the color setting, which I'll just. That's me coming in now from the camera. It's not set to the proper 709. So we'll just adjust that. That gives that. And then let's have a little look on the vectorscope, not the vectorscope, the waveform monitor. And the colour there, I can see the Gary's clapperboard, not correct. So let's have a little adjust to the colour. I think what green down, red up. Blue down a bit. That'll do. Okay, that should be okay now. GW7B's in my own, approximately okay. All good there. Fascinating stuff from Leon there, building that bit of kit from, and had it working without actually seeing what the components were properly. Well, obviously a clever man with plenty of experience. Good stuff indeed. I saw that thing the Dutch guy was showing. Didn't quite understand what that was. Maybe he'll tell us next time round. What part it plays in I assume amateur television, I don't know, but I was distracted, I think, with my cup of tea at the time. But anyway, yeah, nothing much happening here. Just waiting for the weather to improve and then go out and about a bit. I'm off again, New Year. I'm off tomorrow and I'm back to work Tuesday, so New Year's Day will be. It's rare for me to have all of Christmas and New Year's Day off. So I shall do something with the wife, expect. Nothing otherwise. No. I've just ordered a DMR radio, walkie-talkie. We have a new DMR repeater on Anglesey, which is GB7 IA, I think it is. That's a DMR repeater at the moment, but it's going to be a multi-digital formats repeater apparently, and I can't quite understand how that's going to work, because I'm certainly not going to buy a whole list of radios to have on the shelf just to see who. I think it will dilute the use of it, because there's only a few of us around here and we all work our own frequency, own mode of modulation, and we won't be able to talk to each other. So anyway, that's either. Time will tell on that, but that's the only excitement in the locality. It'll be a repeater that I can actually work, hopefully from a handheld, and apparently it's linked right down the coast, so should be able to work it from up the coast. There's a place called Frill, right down towards probably Harlech maybe, or certainly in that direction. So that might not mean a lot to you, but that's past my favourite little seaside town of Benmore or Barmouth, and of course Portsmouth. That's about it from GW7BZ. Well, I'll stand by for another go. I'll have another go, I think. Not that there's much going to be any more sense in the second go than the first go, but why not, indeed. Good to see everybody on. Everybody's hopefully had a good Christmas, and prezzies were had, and all is well and good in your world. From GW7BZY. Can I find a test card?
Check audio. Check audio. And that seems to work. That's great. But the question is, why do audio? So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. I simply was too late. And as what you can see, I'm a bit cold, and that's related to the fact that I feel sick. I won't provide any further details, but yeah, it's not my best day, one could say. Really good to see you. I honestly was too late. and that has to do with the fact that I need to visit the lavatory quite often. Yeah, it's rather problematic. Okay, what can I show you? Well, first of all, together with Jaap, PA to GSA, we bought this SDR transceiver. We could buy it in China for relatively little money. It's called the Zinc SDR. And if you look at specifications, it almost equals the Pluto. However, the FPGA is a bit more powerful than... I give a bit more output power again. That's the usual problem at my side. I do apologize. Okay, so if you look into the specifications for this unit, the FPGA is a bit more powerful than the one in the Pluto. And what's also interesting, perhaps you can see it here, that is that the Ethernet interface is already available in the unit, and it has a beautiful aluminium housing. Well, I spent some time on the unit yesterday to get it up and running. That was successful. That means for narrowband receiving and narrowband transmission. But furthermore, I cannot yet report anything on the unit. But it might be interesting. What I still don't know, and that's rather important, whether the usual Pluto firmware can be used on this unit or that adaptations are needed in order to get it up and running. I simply do not know yet, but once the information is available from either Jaap or me, then we will share it. Okay, that's my contribution for today. Camera and microphone go back to South Africa. Gary, please take the mic.
Okay, that's interesting. Papa Echo 1 Victor Papa ZA6YI. No, that's very, very interesting. And welcome aboard there, Paul. Sorry, I got a frog in the throat today. I think it's the air conditioner that blows on me, and it's made the voice quite hoarse. No, it's been a jolly interesting round, I must say, Martin. Once you got things going, I'd just like some more info though. Is that now done on All Star or how are you doing it as a repeater? Because that's very, very nice. If one can do it on All Star, we might. Although I know it's not really. It's rather frowned upon, but we could maybe bring some of the Aussie boys in on our net, and they can just say hi, and be nice to have them included as well from time to time. And hopefully one day there's a satellite going to go up that they can also work, and so can we, of course. We're in the center of the universe, aren't we? Europe, South Africa is in the same line of latitude, so we'll be able to do things. Anyway, it's all good, and I just want to see who on our necessary YouTube channel. We also have been joined by Regina. Hello, Regina, Delta Golf 5 Fox Mike, and wish you a happy new year as well. And then Stephen Baines. I saw Stephen, by the way, I heard the ISS come over very strong, 60 over 9, at about 11 o'clock this morning, thereabout. And as I was going to get the slow scan TV stuff settled up, it stopped abruptly. It just stopped. So that was the end of that, but it was a very nice signal. So if you were watching then, there's no doubt you'd have had a very, very nice picture. And then Ismail, hello to you, Ismail. Delta Lima 2 India Echo, nice to have you on as usual. And then Nigel, hello Nigel, about time we see you on DATV again. And hello to Joe. Still waiting for you to come up, Joe. 9 Hotel 1 Golf Tango. Can't wait for you to join us on the net. I know you can receive, so it won't be too long. And hello to Fani, Stefanus Nell. We know him as Fani, KG 6 November Golf. And hello to Ashley Booth, Golf Echo 8 Delta Papa Hotel. So those are the stations, you must forgive the voice, that are on YouTube as well, amongst many others that don't necessarily report in. Martin, one thing, you could have cranked up your audio. You muttered to yourself. So we turned up the audio to hear what you were saying, and the next minute when Peter came on, he blew us out of the shack. Anyway, it was interesting all the same. So I'd like to know more how what you're doing. Is it all done on All-Star, or are you running something separately with a separate computer? And Bert, yeah, Pluto's working nicely, so there's no problem there. All good. And interested on the new board you're doing. That's GPS, disciplined oscillator, I presume, and you've got the 2 outputs. Yeah, I wonder if you can program it easily to change frequencies. I run my Pluto at 40 megs, or sorry, 50 megs, I think at the moment, 50 megs, and slight improvement on phase noise, and nice and stable, so it's always on frequency, no issues, and I have the LNB GPS locked as well, so the whole thing is. And then Paul, yeah, excellent signal from you, and looking forward to more information on that, shall we say, pseudo Pluto. And I wonder, you say it's a more powerful, well, it will be, after all these years, the Pluto was quite well advanced actually for the FPGA it's using, and no doubt there will be improvements, and it'll be wonderful if you can get that to work on DATV as well. And it's also very handy to have the extra port so that you can go straight into your network. That's fantastic. I know there has been another Pluto clone, also has its port. A friend of mine, he's actually coming to visit me tomorrow afternoon. He's got one, but his reception and his transmission hasn't been all that successful. So we don't know if it's the actual unit, or is it his LNB that's not working. So he's bringing it here. We'll connect it to my dishes, and then we'll quickly see if he suddenly gets good results. Then we know where the problem is. So that's something that will happen tomorrow afternoon about 3 o'clock. Okay, to you, Leon. And yeah, fantastic on that organ. That was good work, really. And nicely explained. It's fantastic. ZS1 Mexico, Mexico from ZS6 Yankee, India. Mexico, Mexico.
Okay, thanks Gary. Yeah, right. Okay, let's see on the list. Martin. Yeah, nice kitty there. And yeah, good link up with the VK people there. I know Gary, I think he said he uses SRT to get that, and he uses the All-Star for the talkback, whatever SRT is. I thought that was a local TV repeater, because what's his name, Alan or whatever, on the BATC net, he's got one standing in his shack, and I think he also calls that SRT. Maybe I'm confused, but anyway. Martin, your transmission was perfect. You have a receiving problem at times, the same as Peter, that you don't receive yourself always. So there was nothing wrong with your transmission. Almost at the end you froze for a few seconds. Your audio was continuous, but your image froze, and then it just went back on. But yeah, otherwise it's perfect. Excellent picture quality, and yeah, I agree with Gary, your audio was a bit low at some stage because you were not talking out, you were talking to yourself. Okay, Bert, very interesting, that RF0 board. So that's a dedicated one GPS in, and I think you said 40 megs out and 25 out or something like that. Interesting. I wonder, is that a kit that one can order or whatever? You can perhaps tell us more. Peter, yeah, your audio sync was out, audio quality was excellent, and your picture quality is also very good. The DMR radio that you've ordered, when the package comes, don't even bother to open it, just put it straight into the bin, because it's rubbish. It sounds horrible. So you won't get me excited about that. Paul, you haven't given us the final feedback on your spectrum analyzer power supply that you were working on. Maybe I've missed that. You can just let us know. Have you had success with fixing? I think in the end you had 2 spectrum analyzers that you were working on. And then that new Pluto thing, that looks very exciting. Number one, I like the metal box. The LAN I don't care about. I don't use that. But the metal box and the super duper FPGA sounds very appetizing. And if the existing firmware will run on it, then we must definitely make a plan. If you say they're not too expensive, then we must really make a plan to get some of those. I love the metal box. I hate little finicky plastic boxes, especially if it's got round corners like the present Pluto. It works well, but I don't like the packaging. Okay, that's it from me. Nothing else to report. The wind has calmed down. I can feel it because it's slightly warming up again. Alright, Martin, over to you. G8KOE for the group from ZS1 Mike.
Wow, I can see myself and hopefully I can hear myself and I can mute the sound. Wow. Yep, the receive's working and the transmit's working and the audio will be louder. I can guarantee it's louder. I was struggling to look at so many different areas and such like. I didn't comment on your PCB and the organ bits and pieces and that, Leon. Absolutely brilliant. Superb. I missed it, unfortunately, because I was struggling. I've had to close everything down, including the stuff that's in the garage. I powered everything down and powered it all back up again to get into a condition of things roughly working. Anyway, let's get on to this silly repeater that I'm playing with, an SRT and such like. I'm going to try and explain things a little bit better. Right. Over there are 4 Raspberry Pis, effectively, and the signal from those via the HDMI cables go into this quad unit. The Pis are all running a bit of software which I'll show you in a minute, which you just need to download and stick on a Pi if you want to go that route, and effectively open up a port to point to the Raspberry Pi. So anybody that's coming in through your goes straight to that Raspberry Pi. So that then goes, in my case, through that. It's then fed into OBS or a capture card, which is over there. There's the one that I'm using at the moment, which goes into the laptop over there. Normally I'd be using the main machine, but being I'm suffering some problems with the error code that keeps coming up and locking the whole system up, I've stuck it on the laptop for the moment. So that then, from the Raspberry Pi, not from the Raspberry Pi, from the laptop, it's streamed to a Media MTX server, which is in a case exactly like that. That's my standby one, which is another Raspberry Pi. Right, so if we go to right, let's go to there and go to the center screen. That's where you can download. Don't worry about this, there's a big price at the top there. But if you scroll down to the bottom, you can download the software there, which is a free server to run on a Raspberry Pi. I think it'll run on to a 2, 3 and 4. I think if I remember rightly are the ones it'll run on. But you just download the image, stick the card in your Raspberry Pi and boot it up. And it's got a couple of settings in there, but not a lot. If you look in CQTV, there's an article that somebody called Jake KOE has done a brief how to get started. Now, to transmit into this device, you can use OBS and just stream straight into it. So it gives you a link from A to B, which hopefully, and the quality is very good that you can get. This will only run 264. It's limited to because it's a freebie, but I don't think that's a major problem. Now, we wanted to be able to stream it out so as multiple people could actually connect to it, and that's where John G7JTT found this piece of software, Media MTX, another free bit of software that you can download, which has lots of parameters that you can set up in it. But luckily, John fought his way through, and so with the assistance from him, I just had to set a couple of things up, and that's why I'm running to actually stream things. Now, this piece of software, I've restricted it down to SRT, which is just like our MTP, but a different version of it, shall we say, which has less latency. But you can set the Media MTX up to take in multiple different formats. So what goes in is what comes out. So if it goes in on one port, etc., it'll come out on that port, so you can actually receive it. So I can run the repeater side of things through my Media MTX software, and I can also run a separate stream to go somewhere else. But you can also run different modes and you do all sorts of clever things. My Media MTX side of things is restricted to just me, in fact Martin, and John G7JTT with the parameters so that he could log directly into my system and make use of it. But to restrict who comes in at the moment, I've used the Premier SRT server, the free download at the bottom, which are on the Raspberry Pis. So from in the little server you set up, you can set a key, etc., and a passphrase or whatever, so you can limit who can connect into it. So if they haven't got that key, they won't be able to connect. I sent the information to Gary this morning, so he has the information. Now, to receive my output from the MTX SRT server, you can use, let's shrink that down for a minute and open this up. I've got a number of links in here, hopefully. There we go. This one, which is set, which is opened on the other computer, it would do, wouldn't it? That's running VLC, which is receiving my repeater. Now I can prove it's that one. Can I? No, I didn't do that because that's going to confuse things. I don't have an easy way of putting into it. Now, Martin FKK is also streaming on his little empty server at the moment, and as I have the information of him, which should be this one, hopefully, if all goes well. Now Martin FKK is not well at the moment. There we are. That's what he's streaming from his camera that's pointing out his road. He's got a bad cold, shall we say. So that's a stream that's coming in from him. Now it has potential on doing like All Star, whatever you want it to do, and the main reason I like it is that it has the potential to bring stations together from, say, VK or whatever, which as they did the party, which is in August, I think it was, if I remember rightly. It was used SRT, which is just another means of sending pictures across. But using SRT and using the All-Star side of things, which okay, dashboard doesn't want to appear, but not the list of all the stations that are there. I've had this before, and something's obviously collided with something, but that's what was used to obviously tell me that my things were working or not working, etc. But the two in combination work well. So on my little setup, you can have 4 stations coming in. Only one can have audio at any one time on that setup, and I can move it around. So to receive it, you can use VRC. The information is there. You can also use MPV to receive it, and various other little bits and pieces. It's in its early days. What the limitation is probably the bandwidth that I've got on my network connection. So I don't know how successful or not successful it is, but certainly as links, our friend in Spain, who's got tremendous problems with updates that's happened to his software, etc., that he can't actually transmit. Martin linked him in via a direct link to the Thursday net, and also John G7JTT, I linked him into in the same way. Now John JTT is is about to move, but where he is, he's got terrible internet problems, so he's limited when he can actually come in, depending on whether the kids are actually using the available network in the area, which is why he won't be on today. In the morning he's pretty good, and hopefully once the schools go back, he'll improve. But if you've got questions on the Media MTX software, he's a good place to start. His knowledge on that is pretty good. He fought through it and got it working, and explains it very well. He's also good on the VLF stuff with SAQ that came through, which he received very well indeed, on his loop aerial, which is just about a 2 metre loop of wire, which is using the flexible tent rods that you can get. You get in a bag. We'll use 2 lots of those and join them together, and just passed a wire right around the inside of them, taking that out to a 1-to-1 balun. Well, the 1-to-1 balun is just very crudely knocked together. He just found a toroid that was in a transformer. Put roughly 20 turns, I think, aside on. It is a mismatch. Wasn't calculated. He looked at the received signal and undid a few turns, or put a turn on or whatever, till he got the best match that he could get. Now that's in his garden, leaning up against a chair, so it's just at an angle, and the pictures from the ISS you got were very good, and various other satellite stuff has been very good, and the VLF reception from SAQ, space station, was good. It seems for him this area is working exceedingly well. It's a shame he's not on here to be able to talk about it, but I've got the rods. I haven't quite built it. I intend to build it, but probably what I'm going to have to do before then is to completely reinstall everything on the C drive of the PC to see what's clashing with what, which is so that's probably going to be my task through the week. Hopefully I've explained roughly how the repeater works. If there's some information out there, if anybody needs to know a bit more, they can always contact me direct. They're the pictures that I keep putting up, the slideshow pictures. That was a silly thing to do because I haven't put the microphone on there, have I? But those pictures that I was showing up were all stations that I've actually worked through, and I've received pictures from. Most of them are quite crudely taken with the camera just in front of the monitor, but that's quite often what I repeat on first bits and pieces. Anyway, that's a long waffle. Apologies for waffling. I can do better. And now I'm totally confused now of who it goes to, but I was all organised. That's Bert, I think, if it's still the same order. And there were good pictures from Bert. And now the cat's woke. She's going to attack me and come up on the keyboard. So, test card, it's all yours there, Bert, from G8KE.
Yeah, okay, thanks Martin. This PH3AOD. Yeah, all the SRT All-Star, yeah. It's, I think, a complete new hobby, not just ATV or DATV, but yeah, it looks to me a complete new hobby. I have no time for it, or I make no time for it. That's maybe the better way to say. But anyway, it's nice you can play a lot of it, I can see. But no, it's not my interest on the moment anyway. Yeah, what ISS, yeah, we received also some pictures over here. Not so many. It's the wrong times on the moment. It's middle in the night. And normally I'm in bed then, but yeah, there are some nice pictures from the guys, yeah, upstairs, to say. About the RF0, let's see, it's a product from Denmark. Maybe let's see, where is it, the text? Oh, yeah, maybe you can see it now. You can type it in just in one of your Google or one of the other browsers, and you will find a lot of information. And it's not only GPS, you can also make a beacon transmitter or for whisper or whatever you want. You can do CW, you can do a lot of it. And there are still a lot of programs inside, and you can also program it yourself. It's Arduino programming. So if you know a little bit programming about Arduino, you can also program this little board. That's yeah, and about the phase noise, yeah, I've said it before. How many people know exactly what phase noise is? And how many people can measure it? For normal contacts on the satellite, I don't think it's so important, the phase noise. It's a nice thing to say, but no. I think it's not so important. All the signals are very fine. If you need small signals, then the phase noise may be important, but always the signals on the Oscar runner in narrowband and wideband are always okay. So yeah, about phase noise. That's my opinion. Yeah, and the Pluto works from approximately 20 to 80 megahertz. I've did some tests with what was easy to do, and I found out that 20, 25, not lower than 20, to be stable, get 20 to 80 megahertz, and yeah, the Pluto's working fine. Yeah, that's all from this side. Everybody have nice switch in the new year, and see each other probably in the next year. And next Sunday is already next year. Yeah, the microphone then to Wales from Papa Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta.
Okay, maybe turn down the power a little bit. I don't know if I'm in the same place as. There we go. Turn. Oh, we got sound. There we go. Turn. Oh, we got sound. GW7BZY. Check for synchro. GW7BZY. Check for synchro. We might be a bit ahead. Video might be a little bit ahead, so we'll just add a few more frames, I think. It might be a bit ahead. Video might be a little bit ahead, so we'll just add a few more frames, I think. So we go with 13 frames. There we go. Okay. So 13 frames, yes, 13 frames. Okay. Take a chance on that. I'm not going to change it again. Yeah, all good stuff. Okay, thank you, Bert. Fascinating stuff. What you're doing there. Yeah. What am I looking at? A great picture from you, Gary. Very nice. You look like you've got a suntan there. I think the sun must be shining in South Africa. Certainly, there's no sun here in Wales to speak of. Although it isn't raining at the moment, which is as nearly as good. Martin, yeah, excellent stuff. You're getting on well with that SRT, aren't you? Repeater, fantastic. You know, plenty, all good when you have a ramble, when you've got plenty of interesting stuff to say. How does one connect to your repeater? That is the question I want to ask. Or is it only a select few? And obviously I'm not selected, which is fine. Audio sounds good as well, Martin. Good loud audio this time round. Leon, I think you've been a bit harsh about DMR. You know, okay, it's not the best, but I think your ear becomes attuned to it once you've been using it for a while, and it doesn't. It's like someone with a heavy accent. You don't understand them at first, but after a bit, it's okay. That's how I feel about it. Anyway, it's radio and it's local. I think that's the only thing I have to say. There is another digital system round here, which is the Yaesu system, which is very expensive, and I don't know any better. But expensive is the word, and I think I'm not going to spend that much money on a handheld radio or mobile radio, as there's likely to be nobody on. But this DMR works the coast quite nicely. So, and I do go up towards Llandudno quite often, and down the other way. So I might get some use out of it. Might be able to use it to work as well. So that'll all be good. And I use a DMR radio generally, so at work. So I should be able to understand what people are saying. With that, hopefully Martin's going to either send me a message by text. That's how do I connect to his repeater. And maybe the details of that software, the MTX, MXT. I have something's happened to. I bought some mains internet adapters, supposedly good stuff, but I think I've only had them 3 months, and I've lost the receipt naturally, and they've stopped working. So I'm using Wi-Fi. I wonder why my SRT receiver wasn't working. I couldn't connect to it, and then couldn't connect to very much at all. And obviously the reason is that my network's gone down, so it's now just RF between me and the router, which isn't very good. So anyway, that disconnects most everything. With that, I'll hand it round to who's ever next, and say good afternoon to everybody, and probably not see you again for a couple of weeks, but who knows. This is Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee from a very overcast but dry North Wales, and maybe with a test card as well, and hopefully the lip sync is a little better, a little bit more lip synced. Shall we go with a cube? Yes, cube.
Okay, I should be up and running again. That's fine. Well, really interesting, the net. I missed nearly nothing, so yeah, that's good. Gary, yeah, you were talking about the performance of that other SDR unit. I can say that please stay with the Pluto because we know that that unit really performs. But yeah, I was triggered because the SDR unit which I bought is rather cheap. I paid 157 euros for it, and that is not too much, and I thought let's simply give it a try and see what we can do with it. Okay, but yeah, more objective information will follow later. What I hope, actually, you were talking about Simon Brown and the work that he is doing on the DATV package. That's really interesting, and well, in the background of my mind is that this SDR unit will be supported, or that I will be able to put firmware to the unit myself. That can be used in combination with the Simon Brown software package, and also DATV Red. That's also still in the back of my mind to do some experiments with it. I saw that this French station, Oscar Echo Oscar, also looked at this unit. So, well, hopefully there will be firmware available that's going to support it. Leon, yeah, I also watched the printed circuits board that you made for this organ. Really interesting, and hopefully it's going to work without these burned printed circuit boards in the near future. But with the thermal fuse that you put on the resistor, I think that problem will be solved. It might be that the organ is going to fail then, of course, but the printed circuit board will not be will not be burned. And that did remind me to the fact that I did something that was yeah, rather the same, but that was on a bowling track. There is a lot of electronics also available on bowling tracks, and that was exactly the same. The printed circuit board had failed, and it could not be repaired again. So he had to invest into a new bowling track, and he asked me, could you please repair it? And that was successful. Yeah, great. And then Leon, you asked about the spectrum analyzer. I'm still strong enough, yeah. About the spectrum analyzer, yeah, it's up and running. That's really great. That power supply really was a headache, not due to the fact that the power supply as such is that complex. Yeah, it's a complex one, but not that complex. But there are also a lot of monitoring circuits in the power supply, and that means that, well, if one of the voltages or currents is wrong, the power supply is being switched off, and then you do not know what happened. So the solution was in the end to switch off all these monitoring circuits and look at the behavior of the circuit, and finally I found a malfunctioning capacitor in a drive circuit for the primary switcher, and that did the job. So yeah, I was able to repair it, and that means I have an additional spectrum analyzer that's running to 26 gigs, and that's interesting, of course. Yeah, Martin, I made notes about the on-premise SRT server, because what you're showing, also with the video, that really looks interesting. So if I do have the time available, or I give it priority, then I can also give it some attention. And Bert, yeah, in our morning chat, we already talked about the RF0, but you did not talk about the 3D printing that you're doing, and that you made a box for the printed circuit board. I saw a photograph of it, and yeah, it really looks nice. Okay, maybe next time. Yeah, and you were talking about phase noise. No, if the phase noise is not too high, don't bother about it. But what I personally did experience while feeding my LMB outside with a reference from the GPSDO, then I learned that the phase noise was too high, and that's the reason why I simply used the bullseye LMB without being synchronized, and that works well. Okay, yeah, that completes my contribution. I wish you all a happy new year in, what is it, 2 days or so from now. And hopefully we are going to meet quite often in the new year too. Microphone to and camera to South Africa. Gary, take it from Papa Echo number 1 Alpha Victor Papa.
Okay, once again, beautiful over from everybody, and a nice audio this time, I must say, Martin. And thanks for all the information that you sent earlier today. I've got that nicely saved, and shall certainly go through that. Very fascinating. It's been a small net, but compacted with a lot of interesting things today. So I'm sure those that have been viewing this will have found it very interesting. So with that, this throat, if it lasts, I'm going to actually close the net, and I'll do it this way just to wish everyone a very happy new year, and we'll see each other in the new year, no doubt. And let's hope the net can grow from strength to strength, and that we can have more projects going. It's been really phenomenal. You know, if you go back and look at all the different projects and so forth that's been on the net, it's been very, very interesting indeed. And a lot of people have complimented us on having this net, nice and small, short and sweet, but it works, and always something interesting to come up with. Yeah, and old John, he's a very clever guy. That yes, in the early days of DATV on the bird, he did a lot of good work, I must say. And he's got a lot of perseverance. I like him a lot. He was ill some time back, as you know, but it looks like he's recovered nicely, and that's fantastic. Right, with that, this is ZS6YI going to sign off, close the net, and just throw the ball in the air. Thank you all for the contributions during this past year. It's been fantastic, most enjoyable, and of course highly appreciated by many, many people. We look forward to interesting things in 2025. Further developments on what Martin's doing, for example, and of course a lot of additional work that's going to be happening around Simon Brown's inputs. He writes fantastic programs. If you look at SDR Console, it's unbeatable. He's really got that thing aced. So I have no doubt something excellent's going to come out of that. We look forward to being able to get the upgraded inverted commas Plutos at half the price. That's fantastic. And maybe if you get a chance, Paul, you can pop me a WhatsApp on where one can obtain these from. I'd like to get one as well, and play around with it. It's nice to have a backup anyway. With that, 7-3 from South Africa, and I'll just throw the ball in the air. Maybe Martin will pick it up from ZS6YI. 7-3 all.
yeah, 73s from GHKOE. Just thought we'd pop up with a few pictures, which yeah, 73s, which is some of the stuff I received through. And yeah, thanks Gary for running the net right through the year. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I sort of feel confused slightly. Yeah, and to you there, Peter, you need to read CQTV if you want the link. It's in there to actually receive the output, and the information is also to receive Martin's link in VLC. And I thought your sound sync was still out, but it's probably because you're using that other funny program and not OBS. Anyway, and to their oh, I'm losing. It's been too busy a few days, I think. So I think I'm going to duck out on this and wish everybody a happy new year. And where my little repeater thing's going to end up, I don't know. But it's fun doing it, and getting the VK boys in is great. And also some of the American side of things been coming through as well. With it's just it's sort of taken off, and but John is the one that's worked on that software, Media MTX. It's worth looking at. There's lots of information there, and there's probably a lot more that can be done with it than we've done so far. But what John has managed to work out how to do, it's what isn't in the information that we can do would be useful to know. On that note, 730 all, GHKOE.